All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the Zach and Bo Show, and to all you newcomers. I'm Bo Kuiper, and this is Zach. We have been, doing the show for a little bit. We actually took a little hiatus for the last handful of years, and we, decided we wanted to try to make it a comeback, kind of get this back going. Cover, sports, movies, comics, really, the things that we love in life, and we know there's a lot of people that enjoy it. So we try to cover, a bunch of topics and have fun with it. So, like I said, I'm Bo, and this is Zach.
Howdy, howdy.
Thanks for tuning in.
All right.
So, Zach, you
Yeah,
want to kick us off?
yeah. And so this is we took a little break last week. Just got busy, but from now on we are going to do our best to do it weekly, hopefully every Saturday. So yeah, we've both been, Bo more than me, but we are huge NFL fans. So we've been trying to keep up with the NFL preseason. So, the games are starting. It's so great to have football back. I'm just counting down the days till opening night. But yeah, preseason can still be exciting, getting a good view of all the new talent that's coming in. So yeah, I'm a Packer fan, Chiefs fan here. So we're gonna kind of go over who we're most excited to see this season, and maybe some other teams that we're rookies and other teams we're looking out for. So I'll go ahead and let you start, Bo. I know you watched I believe it was Chiefs Broncos last night.
Chiefs Cardinals.
Chiefs
Yep.
Cardinals. Okay.
Yep. And yeah, I always try to watch most of preseason. I know a lot of people don't, invest into the games, but I always think it's worth watching. Especially going into a season that's going to be 17 games long now. You're obviously going to have people wearing down. You're going to have injuries and stuff. So I think depth is just super important. So I think, if you're a football fan, always kind of seeing what your team has as far as depth. And then, the young stars. I have a few rookies kind of in mind that I've been keeping track of, not only for the Chiefs, but just in the NFL period. For the Chiefs, though, specifically, Trey Smith, he was a late sixth round draft pick for the Kansas City Chiefs this year. He was a guard, and he looks phenomenal. I mean, he is truly playing great. He had, prospects to be a first round draft pick, but I don't know if you heard
Mhm.
about him, but he had a blood clot issue,
Oh,
and
yikes.
so so it set him back, quite a bit, and it was kind of unknown if he was gonna, be able to play in the future and everything. They seem to get it resolved for right now. There is some worry that it could eventually come back, but for right now
Mhm.
he's looking healthy, and he is just absolutely phenomenal, which is a big thing for the Chiefs. Is just offensive line. That was
Yeah.
a very apparent thing, obviously late in the last season. Um, but
Mhm.
the other
Yeah.
rookies I'm kind of looking at, I have three that are in my mind right now. And that's
Mhm.
Elijah Moore,
Okay.
who is a Jets receiver.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Trevor Lawrence, obviously, the Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback,
Hmm.
and then Travis Etienne, which is the running back for Jacksonville.
No.
Elijah Moore, I mean, he's looking really good. He's
Hmm.
exciting. I actually got him in fantasy, and that's kind of what got my, kickstarting of looking at his stuff a little bit more. And I mean, there's just so many good predictions on how he's supposed to be. I mean, even AJ Brown said, hey, I will bet every game check that he's going to be the rookie of the year, because of
Hmm.
how talented he looks. And so it's exciting. I think he'll be a lot of fun to just keep an eye on. And then
Hmm.
Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne, they had so much success at Clemson. They already
Yeah.
got that bond. They're both very, very special at their positions. So you have James Robinson still starting for Jaguars, but I think Travis takes over, and I really do think there's going to be a really cool, explosive opportunity for Jacksonville. As weird
Hmm.
as it sounds, hopefully they cash in, because Jacksonville hasn't been very very good for the last couple of years, but
No, not at all. I mean, they got rid of Blake Bortles, so you kind of, how can you be good when you get rid of the goat himself?
exactly,
Uh,
exactly.
I mean, I'm pretty excited to see Jacksonville play. I mean, I'm going to be there watching Trevor Lawrence's first game. Everyone's been keeping track of that guy since he was, just starting at Clemson and maybe even before that. So, you got Urban Meyer there. I mean, I think they're going to be pretty good. Like I said, I'm not I can't be too familiar with Travis Eaton. You said is the other guy. I haven't watched
ETN, yep.
ETN. I haven't watched any of the other Jaguar preseason games, but I'm gonna be on the lookout for them. Got a good coach. They cut Tebow, unfortunately, so they kind of shot themselves in the foot there. I mean, he was gonna be an amazing tight end, of course.
That's right. No, I don't mind Tebow, but you can't really take what was it, 8 years off,
Yeah, yeah.
and then make that transition. I think if in his prime, if he would have tried to make a switch to fullback or tight end, there might
Yeah.
have been an opportunity. But I
Mhm.
mean, you've just waited so long at this point.
Yeah.
And I think everyone knew it wasn't likely,
Mhm.
but
Yeah. I mean, it, there was that video going around of his block that was pretty pathetic looking. I mean, he did his job. It looked pretty pathetic. So
yeah, that's what happens when you're a career-long quarterback, and then you take 8 years off, and then you decide to try to
yeah.
transition to a tight end. I mean,
Mhm.
that just doesn't usually happen.
No, no,
Um,
not at all.
but what about you? You're a big Packers guy. You
Yeah.
got Amari Rodgers. You got a few good rookies. What are you looking at this preseason?
So I was really excited to watch Jordan Love play finally. And I mean, he did good, but then he hurt his hand, I believe. So, I mean, I don't know. Who knows with him? But I was really excited to watch him play. He looks really good. I can't say the same for the rest of the team, but it is just preseason. I'm excited for Amari Rodgers. I'm excited we got a new center after Corey Linsley left. So we got someone that can fill that position the whole time. Josh Myers looks like the guy who can play the part. So I'm excited for that. And hopefully Eric Stokes pulls off. I mean, after what happened in the NFC Championship last year, getting a new corner is definitely a good thing. So I
Yeah, absolutely.
still hurting from that one. But no, so yeah, I watched them. And yeah, I'm just ready for the regular season, but yeah, I mean, watching some preseason football was pretty cool to get. I'm trying to get myself a little bit more familiar with the roster before the season starts because I've always just been a regular season kind of guy. But I'm excited for him.
Absolutely.
I watched Trey Lance play a little bit. He looked pretty good. All the first round QBs looked pretty solid for I mean, I know it's preseason, but they all look pretty solid. Zach Wilson looked good. Trey Lance, Trevor Lawrence, even Mac Jones. I mean, he's got probably the best situation of all of them. The guy goes right into Bill Belichick. So you never know.
Yeah,
Maybe they'll get their whole dynasty rolling again with their.
I hope not.
I sure hope not. I hate the Patriots, but uh, oh well.
But yeah, no, Mac Jones will be kind of interesting, because I mean, right now it's you don't know if they're going to start Cam Newton or Mac Jones or
Hmm.
what exactly is going to be decided on. But he's looked okay. Um, n- the only like quarterback I really see like doing something big this season is probably Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Just because like I think there's a little more solidity and a little
Mhm.
more opportunity there for him because Zach Wilson, he'll be starting, but the Jets are just brand new coach, really, coming off a really bad defense
Yeah.
and trying to get it back together. And they just had two pretty big injuries on their
Hmm.
defense, especially Carl Lawson getting
Oh
hurt.
yeah.
That was a huge loss for them. Um, but then I mean I don't know if Trey Lance starts right away. I think it's going to be a while.
Yeah.
Justin Fields, I mean, he probably should start because like even if he has troubles initially, like Andy Dalton's feelings just so low at this point in his career.
Yeah, and I always liked Andy Dalton, but I mean, Justin Fields, he looks pretty good. I mean, the Bears, I mean, I'm happy they've been terribly inconsistent the last few years, but they have been terribly inconsistent the last few years. I mean, Matt Nagy had that one great year in 2018 where they went 12-4 and then had that heartbreak in the wild card round, I believe. But I mean, I see Justin Fields doing some good if he gets to start this year, which he will. I'm sure maybe even if Andy Dalton starts the first few games, I mean, they're gonna as soon as Andy Dalton has a bad game, everyone's gonna be calling to put Justin Fields in. That's just how this stuff works.
Yeah.
So I think he'll put up good numbers, but I still don't see the Bears being more than, well, I guess there will be no 500 teams this year, but more than 9-8, 8-9.
Yeah. It's gonna be a weird season. 17 games is so long. I
Yeah.
mean, I love it. The more football, the better. But you're gonna start looking at teams that like
Mhm.
you, how long do you play your starters? Are you gonna
Yeah.
have your starting running back continually get
Mhm.
20 carries
Yeah.
every single game? Are you
Yeah.
going? So there's going to be a lot of workload kind of altering there, but it's going to be interesting. I'm excited to we always do our weekly picks, so I'm excited to
Mhm.
kind of see exactly how that
Yeah.
just plays out this year. There's just so much
Mhm.
going into this season.
And
And it's nice to see fans back in the stands and
that
stuff.
is awesome. Yeah. And I remember, I thought I'd heard the NFLPA, they were trying to make it so with the 17 game season, there'd be 2 bye weeks. I could be wrong on that, but I think that would have been, I mean, it extends the season longer, but that would have been nice. That would have been, 2 bye weeks would have been cool. Um, yeah. So I don't know. I'm just excited for the season. Like I said, I'll have to watch more preseason coming up. Like I said, I watched the Broncos and the Vikings, and then I watched the Packers, and then I was keeping up with the 49ers because I wanted to see Trey Lance play, and I watched the highlights of Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence. So, you know, um, I'm just excited for what's to come, and I think the Packers. Just happy we got Rodgers back. I think it's gonna be a good year. I'm praying for a good year, and because who knows what's happened. Like, might as well enjoy it while we can.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Jordan Love might be the guy here in a year or two because it looks like this could be the last year for Rodgers, but
Mhm.
there's a lot going into it. I don't
Yeah.
know if you saw, but today the Bills were playing the Bears, and so Mitch Trubisky got a return to Chicago, which was nice. He threw a touchdown on him, which was
Yeah.
fun to see. But
Good old Mitch Trubisky. He
oh
wasn't
yeah,
great, but he was never as bad as people made him out to be, I don't think. He
he just
didn't.
never like reached what they thought he was gonna be.
No, no,
Like
no, no.
he just consistently underperformed of what they were expecting,
Yeah.
and that you just it's tough business.
Oh yeah. It's just business. I mean, I don't know. So yeah. Who else we got? Anyone else you're excited for coming up? Any more preseason games you're really looking forward to? I know we've only got one more week of preseason, so
No, and that's the thing. It honestly, I don't know if you watched the Chiefs Cardinals game last night, but I mean they ran Mahomes the whole first half, and
I heard
so
that. He got like 33 attempts, which is crazy for a preseason game with a guy like Mahomes. I mean,
yeah, so which the reasoning was is hey, we want to they got that whole new offensive line and they want
mhm,
to continue building that like kind of
yeah.
union because
Mhm.
it, it doesn't transfer always to games if you don't have that relationship built. So there was a
Yeah.
lot of that, but it was kind of interesting just to see.
Mhm.
And they were like doing like run option plays with Mahomes where he
Mhm.
took a couple hits and stuff, and it
Mhm.
was just like, man, this is preseason, we gotta
Mhm.
kind of slow it down, but
Yeah.
it's funny because you see, these middle tier quarterbacks like not playing in the preseason because they got to keep healthy, and injuries. Just like, hey, we're gonna run Patrick Mahomes. Like,
Yeah.
we're just that's just how it's gonna be.
Yeah. He's just gonna play most of the game, and it's gonna be fine. We're gonna. I mean, I'm sure he was out there having fun, just slinging it around, and I mean, it's good. I'm sure, like, if when the starters get to play him and they don't want to get hurt, but I'm sure they enjoy getting to play during preseason. A lot less pressure. You can kind of, I don't know, just kind of let loose, I guess. So that would be
Absolutely.
cool. So yeah. And then what do you think of Travis Kelsey looking kind of different nowadays?
Yeah,
It's funny.
his look is definitely interesting. He went with that, but hey, as long as he continues being, the tight end we know him to be, that's he can
Mhm.
look however he wants, I guess.
I know, I know. Yeah. What week did Chiefs Packers play? Week 11, I think.
Yeah, it's a little later in the season. It's weird because I'm pretty sure they're slotted for like a noon or a 3 o'clock game. So
Wait, really?
usually when you have those,
Yeah.
I'm hoping it gets flexed to like a primetime game
Yeah, that'd be good.
because I mean you have Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. The last time Packers Chiefs played, Mahomes didn't play.
Yeah,
So,
I
I
remember
mean, you
that. That
really
was
want to get that Chiefs,
mhm,
Packers, Rodgers,
mhm.
Mahomes. And I think we could see it flexed out to prime time. But yeah, I was surprised the time it
Yeah,
was.
because it's November 7th at 3:25. So
Yeah. And usually those, the 325 games aren't usually, matchups like that.
no, 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 no. Yeah, so let's do a little predictions. If you had to, let's predict who you think's gonna. Let's each predict who we think's gonna win. Is it okay if kind of throw a curveball? Who's gonna win each division? Does that sound good?
Yeah, that works. Let's do it.
All right. Me. So we got. Oh, so who do you think's gonna win the NFC North? We'll start with my division. Well, not my division.
It's hard to say anyone besides the Packers. It just
Yeah.
currently it's like yes, Aaron Rodgers is getting older and stuff, but he's still MVP level, obviously. They have some here and there issues, but it's like the Vikings they're consistently kind of just in the middle, it seems. And
Mhm.
then Bears are unknown, and then Detroit has a chance to be really bad. So
Yeah, I heard about Goff just in practice, or I think it was one of their scrimmages against another team, just throwing like 2 picks and almost threw two more. I mean, yikes.
yeah. Yeah,
Hmm.
Goff's he's not an elite quarterback, and they just don't have. I mean, their receivers aren't very great. They have
Mhm.
DeAndre Swift, who's a really good running back, and Jamal Williams is a pretty good backup running back. But like other than that, you got Rashad Perryman, you got
Mhm.
Quintez Cephas or whatever his name is, and
Yeah.
they got St. Brown, this his rookie, but still, it's I think they're going to be pretty bad. So yeah, I think the Packers run away with that division.
Yeah, then I'll think. I mean, I agree, obviously. So I'll go Packers, Bears, Vikings, Lions. I think the Vikings and the Bears could go back. I think one of them will be like 9-8, the other one will be 8-9. They'll just be right in there, kind of bubble playoff teams. And then hopefully the Packers will be 17-0, obviously. So
Yeah,
no, I'm kidding. They'll probably I'd say like 13-4, probably be a good prediction, I think.
let's say 17-0, perfect.
So then we got, so let me see. How about the NFC South?
I mean, it's hard to not say the Buccaneers.
Hmm.
The Saints. I mean, the Saints last year in the regular season beat the Buccaneers pretty convincingly.
Both
And
times.
then obviously in the postseason couldn't get it done. Actually, if Jared Cook doesn't fumble that game, the Saints probably win that game. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
realistically,
Hmm.
but without Drew Brees, without Michael Thomas. They actually, I mean, they had a handful of key parts gone,
Hmm.
be gone this season, but then they also have, I think, Marshawn Lattimore. I'm trying to remember. There's a handful of players that are suspended for the first few weeks, because of off-field curricular activities. Um, I think it was Marshawn Lattimore. I can't remember for sure, but yeah. So I think they're missing too many pieces, and then even if Jameis just reaches his potential,
Hmm.
um, because I think Jameis is a competent quarterback when he's
Hmm.
clicking, but he obviously has a lot of downsides.
Yeah.
So I do think we're going to be looking at the Saints kind of taking a step back. If the Panthers stay healthy, I think they should be okay. I'd like to see
Yeah.
Sam Darnold kind of have a little success,
Hmm.
because I've always felt like he's like okay, like he could be a decent player, but he's
Yeah.
just never
He would
been
like
given that.
whenever he'd come on for like a week or two and be like really good and then just fall off out of nowhere. So I don't know. That's just how the Jets. That's just that whole organization. It's kind of a joke. So, but yeah, I think the Bucks are gonna win this year. I think they'll be around the same 11-5, 11-6, and then followed by I'll go Panthers, Saints, and then the Falcons. I don't see the Falcons being good at all this year. I mean,
Yeah, so I didn't mention the Falcons because I don't know. I just don't expect them to be a team worth watching a whole lot. Kyle Pitts should be exciting, I guess, but I mean,
Mm-hmm.
other than that, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be too great.
No. So then we got NFC West. I think this is definitely the one of the toughest divisions and the toughest divisions to predict. So, I mean, all the teams are going to be good this year. I mean, they were all pretty good last year, even with the 49ers having literally no one on, like, at all on their roster. They still were competitive, which was kind of crazy. So,
Yeah. For me, it's it's weird because the Seahawks for the first, half early parts of the season, it was
mhm.
like they were pretty clear the favorites in that division.
Yeah.
And in the last handful of weeks, they just like kind of fell apart. Like they kind of
Hmm.
had, even Russell Wilson started to have some real issues.
Yeah,
I think they're still going to remain a top team, but I think the Rams are going to win this division.
I agree.
Um, the Rams have a really good defense, which I feel like they just kind of keep, solidified. And
Hmm.
then adding Matthew Stafford is huge, 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 huge. Because like even if he's older, even if he has injury problems, the gap between him and Jared Goff is really big. So
Oh
like
yeah.
you're already having this success, you're already winning
Hmm.
10, 12 games. I think Stafford puts them to be a really good team. I
Hmm.
think Rams, Seahawks behind them. And then Cardinals and 49ers, they're in between. I'm pretty sure Cardinals start at like 6-3 or something, and
Yeah.
then finish the season 8-8. So
Hmm.
if they can continue their hot streak, they could be a good team. The 49ers being healthy, or at least for right now, I think they
Hmm.
have the talent to be that third place over the Cardinals. But
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I mean, you never know with the new playoff format. It is possible for an entire division to make the playoffs. So I wonder if this could be the first time that happens. That would be kind of insane.
yeah, and that would probably be the division to have the opportunity to do so.
Hmm. Yeah, I definitely see I'd say the Rams, then the Seahawks, then the 49ers, then the Cardinals. I see the Rams. I see the Rams as being pretty good this year, even better than
Yeah,
last year. So
I agree. I think they're going to be fun to watch.
heck yeah. And then we got the clown division, the NFC East, full of nobodies. So I mean, who even cares who wins this one, right?
I enjoy the Washington football
I
team.
do too. I like
Uh,
them too.
I wonder if they're going to get a new name. They selected it down to three, I guess. I saw a list of names they had. Kind of,
Yeah.
they didn't say the exact three, but there was a list they were choosing from, and I
Mhm.
saw one was the Washington Presidents, and I really hope that's not it because that sounds terrible.
That would be hilarious.
But at this point, just call them the Washington Football Team. I mean, it is what it
Honestly,
is.
it doesn't even sound that bad. I think they should have done like Washington Football Club or something. That sounds a little better. I guess a little too much like soccer, but whatever. I do like
Yeah,
them too. I thought it was cool in the playoffs when they put up a good fight against the Bucks last year. I definitely think they're going to win the division again this year. They're the only team that I see being super competent, really. I mean, maybe the Cowboys will be okay with Prescott back. Who knows? The Eagles are a mess. The Giants are a mess. So I say I'll go football team, Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, or Eagles, Giants could go either way.
I think that's kind of where I'm falling at as well.
Hmm.
If Dak Prescott stays healthy, then I think the Cowboys could push for that first spot.
Hmm.
Um, but there's so many uncertainties kind of with that team right now, and
Hmm.
then also the Giants with their new head coach, they seem like a mess. Um, so I don't think the Giants or the Eagles are going to be a team to be like, okay, this is going to be a
Yeah.
very good team. It's going
No,
to
I
be
mean, didn't the Giants have that huge like have multiple fights break out of their last practice or something?
Yeah,
Like
and they had like multiple like players that they had signed like retire within like 2 weeks.
that's insane.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
yikes. I never hated the Giants or anything, but they're just a mess. So
oh yeah, absolutely.
all right, so let's move over to the AFC. We'll start with the AFC North. Go.
This is a tough one. It really is. I'm gonna be honest.
Mm.
I think. Oh man, I always want to say that we were going to see the Steelers backtrack because we saw them have problems late in the last season.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like the Steelers always find a way to be a competitive team throughout
Yeah, they
most of
do.
the season. So it's really hard. But I mean, Ben Roethlisberger is old and he looked really rough, especially in the
Mm-hmm.
playoffs. I think Najee Harris is a great addition, but
Yeah,
with their problem, I mean, they let go most of their offensive line, and now it's just that's kind of a mess, also. So I don't think it's going to be great.
mm-hmm.
I think there's still going to be a competitive team, though. I think Ravens and Browns are really going to compete for that top spot. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I I'm going to say the Ravens because
Okay.
I think the Browns have more overall talent, like just an overall,
Yeah,
like they're just overall more talented, I guess. But
yeah.
like I don't think the organization is as ran as well and like just as solidified as the
No, no.
Ravens
I see what
organization.
you're saying. Yeah,
Bengals are just going to be a mess.
I hope the Bengals do pretty good. I mean, I like Joe Burrow, so I
I
mean,
do too, but it's still messy. Like the offensive line's unsure. Though the
mhm.
organization is just notorious for being kind of ran weird,
And like
and
super
the
cheap, right?
coaches.
They've got like
Yeah,
the
exactly.
smallest stadium. They don't even have indoor practice facilities and stuff like that. I've always heard that.
Huh.
So got them. So yeah, I would say Ravens, Browns, Steelers, Bengals, probably my prediction.
Yeah.
Maybe Browns, Ravens, or maybe you never know, Steelers. I mean, those top three are interchangeable in my mind. So yeah, this is
Yeah.
another,
Absolutely.
yeah. So got them. So AFC South. This is another division that's always that lately has been kind of it's had its moments, but is now it hasn't been super competitive.
Yeah. The Texans are going to be probably the worst team in the NFL, so
Oh yeah.
they're going to be last place in that division.
Oh yeah.
They look really really bad,
Hmm.
and obviously they had a good preseason game against the Packers. Um,
Hmm.
but and
Yeah.
they're going to be the worst. And then Jaguars, I think Jaguars will be. Uh, I think they're going to be like a 5 to 8 win team. I think there's a
Yeah.
little bit of range, but I don't think they're going to be pushing playoffs. Colts and
No.
Titans are both playoff caliber teams.
Hmm.
Like I'm not saying they're going to be 100% in the playoffs, but they both have the possibility to be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Colts, I don't think will make it. I think the Colts are going to fall a little bit behind because they're having
Mhm.
problems with quarterbacks already,
I mean,
and Quentin Nelson's hurt.
yeah, Quentin Nelson's stuff. But I heard Wentz is doing pretty good in his recovery. He might be there week 1 or 2. So that's what I just read on I was listening to Pat McAfee, and that's what his
Huh?
take was. So you
I
never
guess
know.
and he might be good in a Frank Reich situation again, but
Hmm.
Jacob Eason, the rookie QB they have starting right now, he's actually
Yeah,
looked pretty good.
really, really.
Um, yeah, he's played pretty well overall from what
Hmm.
I've seen. But like I said, I think there's just too much kind of uncertainty with a few parts of there that I
Yeah.
think the Titans are just a more safe
Mhm.
bet for that spot. You know what you're going to get out of the Titans. They have a
Yeah.
pretty decent defense. They have
Hmm.
that consistent run game. AJ Brown's great. And if
Hmm.
Julio Jones stays healthy and performs,
Yeah.
then that's just a little, whipped cream on
Hmm.
top.
Yeah, I mean
So
that he could be. I mean, the Titans the last 2 years, they've been right on the cusp of, they've made the playoffs both years. They're right on the cusp of a Super Bowl. They were fairly competitive against Kansas City a couple years back. So they're they're just right on the edge of being a Super Bowl contender. So you never know. Maybe Julio was the piece that got him there.
yeah,
But yeah, so I don't know. I think I'll definitely would be Titans, Colts, Jaguars, Texans. Texans are going to be terrible, total mess. So,
yeah, I agree.
and then so we got two more. So then your division, AFC West. How we doing?
Chiefs are obviously going to run away. They're going to be 20-0 this season.
Oh yeah,
Um, no, I do think they're going to have a really good season. I'm
they
excited. The
they
offensive
are the
line
best.
should make them killer. Then I think the Chargers are going to be second. I think if they stay healthy, I think they're going to be a pretty good team.
Mhm.
Broncos and Raiders, they're tough to predict. They really are.
Yeah.
I think the Broncos have decent talent,
Mhm.
but it's also like they the last few years they've just had inconsistent quarterback play.
Mhm.
So I'm just gonna say the Raiders in third, Broncos in fourth. That's how I'm gonna say it for right now. I like you had mentioned earlier with some of the divisions, I think it's kind of interchangeable with those
Mhm.
two teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Chiefs, Chargers,
Mhm.
Raiders, Broncos is kind of how I'll be looking at that right now.
So definitely thinking I'm gonna go Chargers, Broncos, Raiders, Chiefs. Chiefs gonna go 0-17. They got some bum of a quarter, but Chiefs are they're obviously gonna run away with it. I could see them having upwards of 15 wins. I mean, especially like you said, if they got their offensive line problems fixed, they're gonna be the team to beat, at least in the AFC. So definitely them, followed by Chargers, Broncos, Raiders. I mean, I guess the Raiders, they got that cool new stadium. So I mean, I want to watch the games at the new stadium. That's what more like, with fans and everything there. So that would be that's more what I'm looking forward to about the Raiders and the team itself, because it's such a cool stadium. So maybe that's just a weird thing of mine. But yeah, I think Chiefs gonna run away with that. And then lastly, we have the AFC East. It used to be easy to predict this one, but not so much anymore.
Yeah, say you can't just say, "Oh yeah, Tom Brady and the Patriots, they're the ones."
Yeah, yeah.
Bills are going to stay at top, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I I I do want to say the Patriots are going to push that second place, from the
Mm-hmm.
Dolphins. I think they'll take it from them just because I think the Patriots they had a lot of
Mm-hmm.
players opt out last year. So I think getting some players back, I
Mm-hmm.
think it kind of puts them in the position to be that number two. I
Absolutely.
think it'll be interesting to see, if Mac Jones steps in and becomes the guy. But it's also the Dolphins added a lot of offensive weapons. They added Will Fuller and then Jalen Waddle in the draft. And so they have a lot of talent. I guess they also added Malcolm Brown in the backfield, but he's a decent goal line player. But
Mm-hmm.
I I'm gonna see the Patriots by 1 or 2 games. I don't think it's gonna be a big
Mm-hmm.
gap. I think Bills are gonna be pretty solid number one. Patriots by, maybe a game. Dolphins, Jets. I hope the Jets get some success,
Yeah.
but I don't see them being incredible.
No,
I just don't.
they're not going to be good. I literally, when you were talking about the AFC East, I literally forgot the Jets existed for a second there. So that shows you how shows you about them. But yeah, so definitely, I'd say I'm gonna put the Dolphins above the Patriots. I think they'll both be around 10-7, and then Bills are gonna win. They're a pretty stacked team still, and then the Jets. I do hope they get a few wins. I want Robert Saleh, their new coach. I want them to have some success, because they they've gotten rid of, well, they didn't get rid of Adam Gates very quickly, but you don't like to see it when you want a coach to be there for at least a couple years. And if you just keep a guy for there for 1 year, you're not going to build success like that. So I hope they do good enough to build on something, but they're not going to win more than 5-6 games.
I think that especially if they stay like with the defense that how they played last year, the defense is really, really bad. Not that the offense was great, but
No.
uh,
Hmm.
so just a quick side update right now. Um, the Bills are beating the Bears 34-6, and Trubisky's having a pretty good game, I guess.
Oh, really? I mean, he's getting his revenge, I guess.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's
Looking
fun
forward.
to see.
So yeah, he's doing pretty good. Bears. They haven't. I guess they haven't been playing Justin Fields much. So I'm just looking at the stats right now.
So it's been mostly Andy Dalton.
From what I can tell, let me get on NFL.com up here. And
That's
then
interesting.
we'll transition to movies for a few minutes here. Yep, I've got it right here, 34-6 to start in third. So we got so here we got Bills, Mitch Trubisky. He's 20-28, 220 yards for one touchdown. And then Jake Fromm's in there now. And the Bears, yeah, it's just been Andy Dalton, 11-17, 146 yards, 1 TD, 1 pick. So he's not doing terrible or anything, but Mr. Trubisky seems to be having himself a time with his old team.
There you go.
Like, yeah. All right. Well, for a little bit, if you're good with it, we can transfer into some talking movies here.
Let's do it.
Don't have the best segue, but we both saw Reminiscence, which is now available in theaters and on HBO Max. I didn't like this movie. I paid attention to the first 20 minutes of it and then got kind of distracted. I thought the endless narration from Hugh Jackman was tedious. It had a cool idea, a pretty cool premise. It was unique, but not very good. It was poorly acted, poorly executed. I don't know. It just didn't really hook me like I'd hoped it would, because I thought the trailers looked kind of interesting. But what do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I thought the trailers looked pretty interesting. And I really, I'm a big Hugh Jackman fan. So I was like, you know what, I'm definitely going to give this a try. And I think the concept. Did we say spoilers? Did we already say that?
Yeah, go ahead. Spoilers.
Okay. I wanted to make sure that we,
Yeah,
weren't.
yeah, yeah.
But so I thought the story was a cool concept. I really do. I thought it had potential, but then like the character development for most of them just wasn't there. It was kind of generic, and then you try to build that relationship with Hugh Jackman characters Nick and May, and they just don't really show anything to like get you emotionally invested into that relationship. So like it wants to have this big story on it, it's centered around that relationship and stuff. But like you literally get like 5 scenes and they're all just, like picnic or date
Mhm.
scenes. It's like it's not really anything to get invested into those
No,
characters.
yeah, I couldn't really get into the relationship. I just didn't. I don't know. Maybe I should have paid more attention. I just didn't get what drew them like closer together.
Yeah.
I wasn't super convicted by any of the characters. I thought it looked nice. I mean, I just watched it on HBO Max, and this is. I mean, look, go to the theaters if you can. If you feel comfortable, and you're vaccinated and everything, go to the theaters if you can. But this is not one you need to see in theaters. Unfortunately, it's
No.
perfectly fine on HBO Max. So
Nothing about that demands a theater watch. Like I said, it's cool concept and everything. There was a lot of things though that just really like just it seemed like they didn't put a whole lot of thought into.
no,
So like the scenes where Hugh Jackman's underwater,
hmm
he's like underwater for like 10 minutes, it seems like
yeah,
it doesn't even seem realistic. Like it's
hmm
hard to take it seriously because of how
yeah,
drawn out it was. And then at the end, where his fate is to stay in the tank for the rest of his life, how is
hmm
he surviving? Like
I
he's
mean,
not getting
does
fed.
is that what the lady does? His assistant or his business partner comes
I
in,
mean, I
feeds him, and
guess,
she's been doing
yeah,
that
like
for decades, so he can just live his weird fantasy forever or whatever. I don't
yeah,
know.
like she has to slave away feeding him and
Yeah,
changing his water and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah. That's
See,
horrible.
like stuff like that was kind of like okay, this is a tiny bit stupid. And
Yeah.
that I found myself saying that a handful of times through the movie. Is like,
Mhm.
okay, this is kind of stupid. Like the
Yeah.
main henchman bad guy.
Mhm.
I can't remember what his name was. Like his acting was pretty rough in that movie.
Yeah.
And then like I
Uh,
don't know, it
it was
just
just
didn't work out like I was hoping.
no, 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 no. And I mean, yeah, I was invested in it. It didn't hook me. And the unfortunate thing is with watching a movie at home, like Nitro Max, if it doesn't hook you, you kind of just start getting distracted. And it never drew me back in. I thought it felt like they had a bunch of random shots and they're like gave Hugh Jackman a mic and told him to just say things to make it look like it's something profound or whatever. Because there was so much pointless narration and it was like
The
it
whole
just telling you
movie.
endlessly how to feel, and I was just over it. So
Oh yeah, the entire movie had so much narration, and it was pretty generic narration. Like
yeah,
it was just try to sound
mhm,
relatively philosophical, or
yeah,
have like a philosophy in the timeline, and that's all
mhm,
that matters.
yeah,
But
yeah. So that is Reminiscence. I do for just a little. I want to mention I saw Free Guy last weekend. We didn't get to do the show last week, but Free Guy is a really good movie. A lot of fun. If you're looking for a fun time at the movies and you want to actually go out, I highly recommend going and see Free Guy. A lot of fun. Ryan Reynolds is great in it. And it's been doing really well at the box office considering everything going on. So that's good to see. I'm just happy people are going out and seeing a nice, fun kind of movie. And yeah, it's probably the only good video game movie. I mean, it's not based off a video game, but it's just a really fun time at the movies, and it's really kind-hearted and fun, and there's no cynicism to it. It's just a really optimistic and fun movie, which is the kind of movie I think we need sometimes now. So if you're just looking for a good
absolutely.
time, go see Free Guy.
And I really want to watch it soon. I just hadn't
Mhm,
got the chance to,
mhm.
because I mean Reminiscence was on HBO Max, so it just kind of made
Yeah.
it a little more convenient.
Mhm,
But I do want to see it just because I've heard so many mixed reviews. I've not
mhm.
heard, I mean, from everyone I've heard, it's at least fun,
Yeah.
but I've heard good and bad things. It has
Mhm.
a cool cast, it seems, and could be a cool concept. So I definitely want to give it a try, but I just hadn't got a chance to.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, it's good. There's an amazing cameo in it. I won't spoil it. You just gotta see it. Yeah. I'm not sure what's coming out this week. The next movie that I'm really excited for is Shang-Chi, which looks really, really cool. And I've been hearing some of the initial reactions from the premiere have been crazy positive. So I'm super excited for that one.
Oh yeah, I think that's going to be a fantastic movie. I honestly don't have any interest in the Eternals.
Really?
I don't know, just
Did,
not yet at least.
did you
But
see that latest trailer?
yeah,
I mean, I like the shot. Okay, there is the Celestial. I forget the name of the Celestial in it. That looks cool. It looks, I don't know. It just looks. I mean, I'll see it. It could be amazing. It's from Chloe Zhao, who's the reigning Best Director winner. So that could be cool. Um, I'm excited to see what happens. But yeah, it doesn't look. The trailers haven't hooked me like Shang-Chi has, and after hearing all these like crazy positive reactions, I just Okay, all right, just a little technical difficulty there at the end, but that's going to wrap up for our second episode of the Zach and Bo Show. We should be back next Saturday. Hope you've enjoyed it, and be sure to comment, rate, subscribe, and yeah, hope everyone has a great day.